Welcome back, everybody. A live look over Mount Clemens on this Tuesday morning. If you are a parent of a kid in any sport, you're always concerned about them getting hurt or worse, some long-term effects. Well, now there's some new research on the effects of repeated head impact from contact sports on young ones' brains, and it's actually kind of encouraging. Not because there's less risk, but because doctors have better information on how to diagnose and treat the chronic traumatic encephalopathy. Did I get it right?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I've been working on that for hours. Dr. Kate Wilson is here. She is a neuropsychologist with Henry Ford Health. Thank you so much for coming in. So I have no idea what most of this means, but my understanding is that the research is kind of pointing you and the other doctors in the areas to kind of look for CTE earlier on. Is that about right?
We're getting there.
Okay,
so right now, CTE can only be diagnosed after death in brain pathology.
Okay.
But this research is showing us the mechanisms that are leading up to that.
I see.
And it's showing it in younger populations, but it's still looking at 20 to 50-year-olds in this population.
Okay, so it's terrifying for parents, always has been, right? Because we never really know what those long-term effects are going to be. If I am a parent and I am concerned about these high risk, high physical sports, which we know a lot of kids love, you know, they'll put on the helmets and go crash into somebody. We can't stop them from doing it, but what's your advice?
My advice would be to make sure that you're doing it as safely as possible.
Right.
So obviously you want to wear helmets, you want to wear bite guards when you are playing sports. There's other things you can do day to day, like making sure your child's wearing a seatbelt in the car. That's going to reduce the likelihood of head injuries, and the less head injuries you get, the less chance there is for cumulative effects. If you do have a head injury, you have a team that can help you. You've got your pediatricians, your primary care physicians that can help monitor any effects afterwards and guide you through recovery. You also, if you're in organized sports, you have athletic trainers that can be there on the side of the field and are watching for these things and will pull kids from play whenever there's a question.
Yeah, so speaking of, what are some of the red flags then when you know that, you know, because some kids want to just push through it. Like when do you know you need to be benched?
Yeah, well, if there's alteration of consciousness, and that doesn't have to mean you're knocked out cold.
Okay.
It can mean that the child seems confused, woozy, they're disoriented. So those are the times when usually the athletic trainer and the coaches, they're saying, hey, this kid doesn't seem like their normal self. Right. Then we're going to pull them and evaluate them.
Gotcha. Okay, so let's kind of go back to the research a little bit then. So obviously you said it can't be diagnosed until after death. What is this research helping you do then now?
Yeah, so right now it's showing us like what could potentially be leading up to the things that we are seeing that diagnose the CTE. So you have these hyperphosphorylated proteins in your brain.
Say what now?
You have these little brain bits. In the research, they call it p-tau. And when you have a certain amount of that in the brain, they're saying, okay, now you have CTE. This research is showing us what kind of comes before that.
Okay.
So it's showing us more of the developmental course leading towards CTE.
I see. Okay, so do you think that there is a path here over the next 10, 15, 20, 50 years where you might be able to diagnose CTE before death?
Well, what we would call that would be traumatic encephalopathic syndrome.
Okay.
So that's when we are seeing these changes in somebody's day-to-day functioning.
Okay.
And then if we see those changes and we think, okay, well, they've had a history of repeated head injuries and they're having a clear decline from their previous level of functioning and it's getting progressively worse, then those are some of the criteria for this traumatic encephalopathy syndrome. And then after death, we can confirm it with CTE, with biopsy.
All right. So what we're looking at now is, you know, umbrella, overarching kind of things to help you kind of categorize what's happened. But when you're a child and as you grow up, you're going to be seeing issues and kind of the triggers and the warning signs that something might not be right, right?
Yeah, so if there's a clear change from how somebody is functioning and it's declining, they're getting worse over time, then obviously you want to talk with your healthcare team to get that evaluated and see, like, is this possibly related to head injuries or could it be something else going on that's much more treatable? Right.
I know that football usually is the contact sport it's the poster child for this kind of thing, but it's not just football, right?
No, it's not just football, but the vast majority of research is football.
Okay.
So, and it's usually with men too.
Okay.
So usually who plays football. So we don't want to make too many leaps yet. But yes, any like repeated head injury could be like our veterans who've survived multiple blasts as well. So those are other populations that we could look out for too.
I would imagine, I would hope, crossing my fingers, that during practice, our coaches, our athletic trainers are teaching our young ones the proper way to tackle and take a hit.
Yes.
But is that probably a conversation you've had with your patients too?
Yes, absolutely. We talked about all the regular safety measures that they should be listening to their coaches and doing things as safely as possible.
Which is what? What's the best way to, if you're going to get hit and tackle, what's the best way to do it?
Well, you don't want to go head on. I didn't play football, but my understanding is you want to like go in with your shoulder.
Okay. Yeah. And then for the parents who, again, are concerned about this, there is a fine line for every parent to allow their kid to play and, go at 110% and in a game like football especially, be very physical, but also, if needed, dial it back. Where is that fine line between, being a great player and being cautious of your own safety?
That's a good question. I'm not sure I have the best answer for that.
I don't know if anybody does, right?
Yeah, I would say if your child is getting concussions, like plural, we want to look at their recovery trajectory.
Okay.
Are their symptoms getting worse? Are they getting longer after each concussion? That tells us that that might be something we need to pay closer attention to. So that would be one of the things that I would look for.
And there's also a lot of misinformation about concussions that obviously it's a scary thing and can be traumatic, but also you can, I don't want to say walk away, but you can walk away with no long-term effects, can't you?
Yes, that is very, very important point to make.
Yeah.
Like the expectation is that you will recover.
Right. Okay. Doctor, thank you so much for your time this morning. Appreciate
pleasure.
it. Thank you.
You.
Good to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Thank you.